All right, here we go. We are live in our first broadcast since week 6. Tucker, it's the lineup legends. How you doing today?
Dude, I'm great. I'm great. It has been a while, but I'm excited to get back to it. We got a lot of games to get through today just to preview them for week 15. A lot of people in semis this week, including ourselves. Somehow we both made it. I'm really excited for this upcoming week for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I am too. Sorry, I'm trying to. Do you hear a fuzzy from my mic, or are we good?
You good? Sound good.
Okay, cool. I think it's just maybe my headphones or something. Okay, we're just gonna hold on, try one time. Sorry to our viewer. Just kidding. Man, what the heck?
Yeah, so Steven and I have somehow made semifinals in our league. We have no business being there, but we're hype. And it'd be sweet to play each other in the championship.
Yeah, so we're both getting out here in the semifinals this week. Can't believe it. Like, dude, we really had no business. I mean, Tucker's team is rock solid now, but it was terrible most of the season. And then my team has just been like slightly above average pretty much all year. And I guess I've just kind of fallen backwards into a top 4 finish, which honestly I'll take it. Didn't expect that this year with Joe Mixon, killing me. So Tucker, with no further ado, let's help out our fellow playoff people here, and let's just break down all these games. We got a full slate ahead of us, so let's just kind of power through. Let's go quick. Let's hit what we want to hit and then move on.
Right. Yeah, it all starts tonight. LA Chargers versus Las Vegas Raiders.
Yes, sir.
And this one should be a doozy.
Yeah, this one should be a doozy. Over under of 53.5. That is the highest mark on the week. This one should be big time. We'll see. It doesn't seem like the Chargers are going to have. Definitely, it doesn't seem like they won't have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So tough to see what that offense is going to look like. Justin Herbert might be throwing the ball a lot to Hunter Henry and I guess Jalen Guyton. I don't know really what you would expect from that receiving core who will step up.
And Austin Eckler. He'll probably get a lot of them. He got, I think, 9 catches in the last game. Hopefully he can keep that up for me. But I think he will. He probably will. Las Vegas isn't like a slam dunk defense or anything. I think Hunter Henry, Eckler should get kind of peppered with targets here. And then on the other side of the ball, just to keep it moving, Josh Jacobs, who trolled everyone last week, has a decent matchup here against the Chargers. If you're a Jacobs owner that happened to make it this far, which I feel like may be unlikely, but I don't think we'll see a lot of Jacobs owners in fantasy championships this year. Just 'cause he was an early pick, probably disappointed a lot of people when it came to really big games.
Yeah. This one will be pretty fun to watch. Derek Carr, how do you think he's gonna do in this one? I feel like he's had like every week that I haven't started him, just that one week he just absolutely destroyed me. I feel like he's been really solid this season. Like I feel like he's having a good year. Do you think he's gonna have a good game against LA?
Yeah, I do. LA's defense is not great outside of Joey Bosa, really. So I like Derek Carr for this one as long as Steven isn't starting him. He should be a good start.
Yeah, I'm not starting him ever again. So y'all are good to go this week.
so and therefore I like Darren Waller as well. I think he'll obviously continue doing what he's been doing. Henry Ruggs is out, I believe, on the COVID list. So maybe, I mean, if you need a flyer, hopefully you don't this late in the season, but if you need one, maybe Hunter Renfrow here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's mainly the offense will move through Waller. I agree there. Okay, let's take it to the next game. We have the Bills and the Broncos. I really like Cole Beasley in this one, honestly. It sounds like John Brown is a stretch to come back this week, and Beasley just getting peppered with targets. Really like him in this one. What do you see from Denver? Is there anyone that's sticking out to you as a play, or is this kind of an avoid situation? Maybe Tim Patrick.
Yeah, maybe Tim Patrick. Melvin Gordon's not bad still. I think he's still kind of doing pretty well. The big thing to know about this game is that it's on a Saturday. Don't forget we have Saturday games this week. Make sure you get your lineup set the way you want, and put those Sunday guys, late Sunday guys in your flex, that kind of thing. Because this one and Carolina Green Bay, both Saturday. But yeah, no Broncos, really, and except Melvin Gordon probably. And then for Buffalo, yeah, Cole Beasley, I would agree with that, and yeah, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think on the Broncos, like I would start Tim Patrick in the as a wide receiver 3 if I needed to. I mean he's looked like the most talented receiver for Denver, and Drew Lock looks his way every time they're in the red zone. So given that Denver is likely going to be playing from behind in this one, I don't hate Drew Lock. I wish he was getting more targets. Like he's not really seeing the targets that you'd want in a guy you're throwing in the flex, but that being said, he's probably going to make up for it with a touchdown. So, I think he's kind of a touchdown dependent wide receiver 3 this week.
Yeah, Tim Patrick or Cole Beasley this week.
Cole Beasley, 100%. Cole Beasley.
Yeah, I'd agree there for sure.
Cole Beasley is going to eat.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, let's take it to the other Saturday game. This game I think is going to be a lot of fun. Green Bay, Carolina, over under 51.5. That's pretty solid. Green Bay is favored by 9 in this one. On the Carolina side of the ball, you got to be looking at Mike Davis just licking your lips with this matchup here. Green Bay giving up the 4th most fantasy points to running backs. Mike Davis finally right the ship last week. He had a good week after what felt like forever. What do you think about him this week?
Yeah, definitely interested here in Mike Davis. I think he'll have a great game against the Packers. You can plug him in there. It's really disappointing not to see McCaffrey out there again. Maybe he gets back week 16, but I don't know. I guess we're going with Mike Davis. Hold on to him forever.
Yeah, but the exciting storyline here is we get DJ Moore off the COVID list at Green Bay. This one will be interesting between DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, who draws the coverage of Jair Alexander. My guess would be Moore. Kevin King usually takes the bigger bodied receivers like Robbie Anderson. So I'd expect how things play out there. So might be a tough matchup for DJ Moore, but I'm starting him here. He seems to be fully healthy. It's interesting how the COVID list timed up with his ankle healing. It gave him another week to recover from the ankle, so that's great. So I like him this week. I think he's going to be a solid wide receiver, high end wide receiver 3, low end wide receiver 2 play. What's your take on the Panthers receiving core?
I don't love him this week.
What's new?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing as
DJ Moore.
usual.
Just admit it. You don't like DJ Moore.
I don't know why, but you might be right. I think I'm just coming around on really strongly disliking him. I really dislike DJ Moore.
You can start Travis Fulgham instead. You can start Travis Fulgham.
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started here. All right. All right. I lost a train of thought. Yeah, I don't like DJ Moore. Get out of here.
All right. So anyone out there watching this, that means DJ Moore is going for 2 touchdowns this week.
Dude, if he does, good for you. I'm happy for you if he does.
Are you? I feel like you're just fronting at this point.
I am until you play me next week in the ship, and then he cannot.
Yeah, that's fair. Robbie or DJ, who you prefer this week?
You know who I prefer. It's Robbie.
Okay.
It's not Moore.
Yeah.
Moore is still going to be a little bit hampered by that injury.
We get it. Robbie Anderson's the wide receiver 1 in that offense. Yeah, we'll see. On the Packers side of the ball, Aaron Jones is going to eat. He's been ceding a lot of carries to Jamal Williams. Are you concerned about that?
Aaron Jones. No, I'm not. I mean, I think he hasn't had a great couple of weeks. But I think this is a get right game for him, and I think he will. Um, However, I do think Aaron Rodgers can be like passing like crazy the next couple games. He has a chance at 50 touchdowns, and I think he's going to be a little bit overambitious to try and get there. So,
yeah, as a Packers fan, knowing Aaron's personality, I think he will go for that. That's a good point.
So I do expect a lot of passing. Davante Adams should be rock solid. I mean, rock solid. I'm jealous of anyone that owns him for sure.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that could maybe keep Davante from going off here is the Packers being heavily favored. But again, to your point, like I don't really see the Packers slowing down. Maybe they go a little more run heavy in the second half, but who knows? Like I kind of feel like maybe this could be a game that plays out a little bit closer than we think it could be. You know, I feel like Carolina has been sneaky good. I mean, they pushed the Chiefs to the end there early in the season. I don't know. I feel like this one could be a fun little back and forth game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Green Bay's a little too heavily favored just immediately off the bat, but it could be a game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take it to our next game. Tampa Bay, Atlanta. This could be another Ridley week. Julio, I don't know. I think there's a chance they just shut down Julio for the season. Raheem Morris, their interim coach, said Julio's week to week from here on out. Like that at least doesn't sound like good news for his week 15 status. So I really like Calvin Ridley this week. I think he has a ton of upside. In games where Julio doesn't play, Calvin Ridley tends to go off, and he's always in the end zone. Plus, Atlanta's going to be passing the ball a good bit, I feel, in this matchup that has a 50.5 point over-under, where the Bucs are favored by 6. So I think they're just going to be peppering Ridley with targets, much of the same that we've seen whenever Julio's out. Is there anybody else you're trusting in that receiving core or tight ends?
I think Russell Gage is safe. I really do.
Oh yeah,
he's been doing very well. He's been heavily involved since Julio's been out. At least the past couple of weeks. I mean, he's scored over 10 fantasy points in 3 straight games, I think. And I mean, he threw a passing touchdown last week, so they're clearly trying to get him involved a little bit. And Julio's been hampered by that hamstring. So I mean, even if he does come back, that's super high risk of re-injury. And yeah, I agree. I don't think Julio, I don't know if he plays another game this season. We'll see.
Yeah, so I'm all aboard Ridley this week. He's one of my DFS picks. I really like him. Let's go ahead and move to the Tampa Bay side of the ball. Oh man, I feel like this offense has been slowing down. It's had its hot moments in the season, but right now pretty low momentum. Like, tell me who you're excited to start on the Tampa Bay side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue this offense has been even a little bit disappointing, which is funny to say because they've all put up like good numbers statistically speaking. But I think everyone expected with Brady there and all these weapons, they should perform in fantasy, and they haven't as much as one would expect or want. And that mainly it's just because Brady distributes, but Brady also hasn't been. I mean, he's been good. He hasn't been what we expected necessarily. So I think I like Mike Evans for a touchdown. Maybe it's kind of difficult to tell because you're really picking at who's going to get the targets on this day, who's going to get the touchdown on this day. It could be Scotty Miller for all we know. It could be Gronk. So I mean, Mike Evans and Godwin maybe should be the starts, and then Rojo is probably good, and then Gronk if you're in a pinch, but hopefully at this point you have not AV. I mean, I don't know. This offense is an enigma to me. I don't know when they're going to be good, when they're going to be bad. Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like I don't really know this offense's identity. Like I don't know which receiver they go through. I don't know who's the possession guy. I don't know who they're like. I'm interested to see this game because I think it'll be kind of telling. Worth noting, Rojo might miss because of I believe surgery on his pinky. In that case, Fournette would be getting, I would assume, the bulk of the carries. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to be said. I mean, I'm excited. I think Brady is in a good matchup. I know he's been
Yes.
cold, but
Yeah.
he has shown upside this season, and he's got amazing weapons against a bad defense against quarterbacks. So I do like Brady this week.
Yeah, agreed with that one. Brady should be good. It is. Ronald Jones can't keep a starting job for this reason. Late in the season, they need him to just work their way up in the playoffs, and instead he goes, "I need pinky surgery." Fournette's a good play this week, then.
Brady or Tannehill this week?
Brady or Tannehill? That is a good question. I think
Tannehill is against Detroit.
Yeah, I think I'd go Brady. I mean, Tennessee has no reason not to just run the ball down Detroit's throats. I mean, they're the worst defense against running backs, and I mean that's what I would do. I would just give the ball to Henry and let him run. So
yeah, that's where I still go Tannehill, just because I think that offense is going to put up so many points on Detroit that I think both Derrick Henry and Tannehill could get theirs. But that one's close. I was kind of flip-flopping between Tannehill and Brady, so I think they're about the same there. But I like the upside of the Tennessee offense overall a little more this week.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I just like that. I mean, the Falcons' secondary is not good still, and I mean, whoever is the running back for them isn't going to get a lot done on the ground. I think it's going to be mostly through the air. They're going to catch passes and run with it. Yeah, I like Brady more a little bit.
Okay, well, we might as well go ahead and jump to that game. Titans-Lions over under 51.5. The Titans are favored by 11 points, have an implied total of 31.25 points. Man, I think this whole Titans offense is going to eat. Derrick Henry is going to win people a spot in the fantasy championships. You can ask for a better situation for him. And then I think Tannehill, AJ Brown, both are in solid spots as well. I think Henry's going to have a ton of yards and a couple touchdowns, but I still think there's going to be plenty for this whole offense to go around. Basically, the only guy I'm not starting is Jonnu.
Yeah, probably the same spot for me. I mean, Corey Davis, even good start. Continuing to be a good start. And yeah, I mean, I agree. Derrick Henry's just gonna. I think it's all Derrick Henry for me in this game. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. He's been getting 25 plus carries, and I'm just praying I don't get obliterated by him. That's all.
Yeah. On the Lions side of the ball, DeAndre Swift, I actually really like him this week because especially if the Lions are playing from behind, Swift has had such a nice passing game role, and that's more valuable than the rushing attempts anyway. So I like Swift to be used heavy in the passing game. He's has one game back under his belt, so you could probably assume he's just about fully healthy now. Fully healthy now. So no voice crack version. I think I really like Swift this week. He's one of my DFS picks. Like him a lot at his price. Think he's going to be very involved in the passing game. Plus Tennessee has been a pretty friendly matchup for running backs, giving up the seventh most fantasy points to opposing running backs. So I think DeAndre Swift is a great play this week. And especially with Galladay likely out again, I really like Swift to pick up a lot of that slack in the passing game.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Galladay missing again is tragic, but Swift should be a good play. Other than that, maybe Hawkinson, and then that's pretty much it. So.
Yeah, Hawkinson's been low-key really solid this season, like very consistent. Hasn't shown much of a ceiling, but he's consistently having startable weeks. So, yeah, I like Hawkinson in this one as well.
Good deal.
All right, let's move to San Francisco, Dallas. Tucker, tell me right now, is George Kittle playing? I got to know.
You've been more on top of this than me. I don't think he is. I think he comes back next week and he's not going to be, really full, actually full, but they'll say he is.
So you think next week he's not going to be fully healthy for next week's game? You think he'll be limited?
Am I about to say something and you're going to contradict me with something you've read? Is that
No,
what's going to
I'm
happen?
genuinely curious because like my thought process is I think he has an outside chance of playing this weekend, knowing how much of a competitor Kittle is, and knowing that the Niners are technically still in the playoff race. He might say like, "Get me out there and play." And I think if that doesn't happen, I think he's definitely back for Week 16. That's where I stand. I think if he were to be back week 16, I would assume it's a full slate of snaps. I worry this week if he came back this week, would he even be featured in that offense like he normally is? So that's the concern. A lot of thoughts going through my mind here.
Yeah, it's really difficult to pin a player's desire to play versus a coaching and medical decision. So that's what this is going to be. It's going to come down to how much Kittle wants to play and how much he pushes it. I think it's a very tough road to the playoffs for them. And I think he will be heavily advised not to rush back. And I think eventually he's going to give way to that. But we'll see. I could be proven wrong. He is a really he likes to fight things. So we'll see. He's always said he's going to be back earlier from this injury, and he still will be, even if he comes back next week than expected. So I expect to see him next week, but who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
I don't think
I'd play. I don't think. I guess he's George Kittle, so you got to play him if he does come back this week. But I don't think he will.
Okay. Well, I personally think he's got a chance. We'll see. Raheem Mostert, everyone kind of assumed he was out because they were getting his ankle looked at, but they got good news and they gave him the day off Wednesday. But that was more like just giving him a rest day. It sounds like Coach Shanahan says he expects him to be back this week. Great matchup at Dallas. I like Mostert. I mean, he's obviously not gonna have more than 15 touches. I mean, he won't have he's gonna split with Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson has earned that. It's kind of a 1-2 punch now, but you're hoping for Mostert to at least get maybe 12 to 15 carries and a couple catches, and that's an RB2, given Mostert's skill set, San Francisco's running scheme. In a great matchup against Dallas. So I like Mostert this week if he plays. I love Jeff Wilson if Mostert doesn't play. Tell me about the Niners receivers. What's the deal with Deebo Samuel missing this one?
Yeah, with Deebo out, it's going to be all Brandon Ayuk here. He's been getting peppered with targets. Should be peppered again this week. And he's been incredible. Really, he has. He's going to be a great receiver next year, I think, as well. Just looking forward. Definitely want to start him if you got him. Because with Deebo out, he's going to get all of them, and I think he can do really well with it against the Cowboys, who are not very good against the pass.
Yeah, I think Ayuk's a great play on FanDuel as well. He's super cheap. He should be priced up there. I think he should be priced as a top 15 option. Honestly, he's been treated as such the past several weeks, especially with Deebo out and probably Kittle out. Dang, yeah, start Ayuk.
High end wide receiver too this week for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we know you're the Andy Dalton stan here, so break down what the Dallas offense looks like this week.
The Dallas offense hasn't been looking good, and I blame the run game for the most part.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy, given that they have Andy Dalton at quarterback. Like,
I know,
something's wrong with the rest of
agree,
the offense.
because he's not a bad quarterback. The problem is their running game, because it hasn't been going. Okay, fun fact, in case you didn't know, last week Zeke had 13 touches. Tony Pollard had 13 touches. Okay, Zeke is not getting it done.
Real quick, just to throw it back. Ezekiel Elliott, bad or good? 3, 2, 1, bad.
Bad. I mean, he is bad.
Yeah.
I don't want him. I really don't. And I don't want to have to start him. That's just a bad position to be in right now, because you want him to be good every week, and you're just disappointed every week. So yeah, it's going to be the receiving game if you're going to start anyone, and it's going to be Amari Cooper and Dalton Schultz if you really have to. But I don't want to start Cowboys unless they're named Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
So
I'm not starting any Cowboys except Amari Cooper. And honestly, it'll be interesting to see what the Cowboys do moving forward with Zeke because, Pollard's looking better, if I'm being honest.
he looks more explosive on the field, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if Zeke's gotten slower or what, but he doesn't look good.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I really don't know. After Dak left, he went downhill.
Yeah.
I don't get what his problem
right.
with Andy Dalton is because Andy Dalton is amazing.
Andy Dalton is amazing, and maybe they think Andy Dalton's the quarterback. I can't even say it with a straight face. The quarterback of the future there in Dallas. So.
And Zeke's just butthurt about it, man. That's what's happening.
Okay, we gotta pick up the pace here. We got Houston and Indianapolis. This one should be interesting. Houston kind of sputtering. Given that they've been without Will Fuller, they're Indianapolis is favored by 7. The over/under is 51 points, so expected to be somewhat high scoring. T.Y. Hilton went off against the Texans just a couple of weeks ago. Do you think he does it again? Do you think T.Y. is now the clear-cut wide receiver 1 in Indianapolis?
We have no reason to believe he's not. I don't want to be in a position where I'm going to start T.Y. Hilton. Hopefully I'm not. Ideally, I start someone else. I just don't feel incredibly comfortable starting a Colts receiver if I'm in an important matchup in fantasy right now, because you don't know what they're going to do, and they will score a lot of points on the Texans, but who knows if it's going to be Ty or Pittman or one of the tight ends this week. The person I'm really interested in is Jonathan Taylor.
I'm gonna be honest. I would love to be starting T.Y. Hilton this week. That's 2 back-to-back weeks where he's clearly getting the work as the focal point of this passing game, and he dominates the Texans whenever he plays them. And Pittman, I'm not worried about Pittman. Pittman has pretty much proven that he has to be a complement receiver. Like they kind of tried to make him the guy, and it just wasn't working out. I think he's more of a. He's not getting separation like Ty does. So I think they're going to need to. They're going to need to rely on Ty, especially this week in a game where the Texans offense has some gas to it, even without Will Fuller. So I like Ty this week, but like you said, Jonathan Taylor, also a great play. He's been getting hot as of late.
Yeah, Hilton does have a good track record against the Texans. That's true. And if you feel comfortable with it, go for it. I've just seen the Colts have a different game plan almost every week. 1 week, Nyheim Hines will get a ton of work. Then it'll be Taylor, and then it'll be Trey Burton. So I think there's just a lot of people in this offense that are important to them, and they kind of move it around a lot. What we have seen is the trend of Jonathan Taylor really getting the bulk of the carries, the bulk of the snaps, and the Texans allow a crap ton of rushing yards. So, Jonathan Taylor's my start here. I'd prefer to not have to start any of the other Colts.
Fair enough. Okay, and then with the Texans, which Texans do you want to start this week?
Do I want to start Deshaun Watson? I mean, I don't want to start Deshaun Watson either. I don't even want to start him. I mean, if I have to start a receiver, it's going to be Kiki. Sorry, it's not going to be Charles Hanson. Is that his name?
Chad.
Surely that's Chad.
Chad Bradford. Charles Hanson.
Exactly. Okay, that just proves why I don't want to start Chad Hansen. Okay, that's not ideal. Kiki is not ideal either, but he's a little bit better.
In that wide receiver, Charles Manson.
Charles Manson Hansen. All right. We are. Yeah. Anyways, point being, ideally none of them is my point.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's take it to New England, Miami. New England got just destroyed last week. What's going on with? I don't even know what's going on with New England. Like, I don't like. I'm just so confused because they dominated the Chargers and then got absolutely destroyed by the Rams. Like, I don't even know what to expect against them at the Dolphins, who have had an insanely good defense as of late. So I'm just a little curious what your thoughts are, just in general, how this game is going to go.
Yeah, I gotta ask something. Who's the favorite in this game?
Miami is favored by 2, but it
Okay,
has an over
by
under 41
two.
and a half.
By
Yeah.
2. That's insane. I mean, yeah, Miami should dominate this game. The Patriots just have not been good. Um, they're 6-7, sure, but they have not looked good. I
Yeah.
I like Damian Harris on the Patriots side of the ball, but I mean not a lot.
Yeah,
I
against
like him to get
Miami, I'm trying to
touches,
stay
but
away.
not a lot.
Yeah.
Miami's defense has been super stout. Ideally, I'm not playing Patriots. And ideally, ideally, I'm not. Yeah, I just don't like the Patriots in this game at all. Not against Miami.
Yeah. There's no Patriots I want to start this week, but on the Miami side of the ball, gonna be the guy I really like is Lynn Bowden. He's been getting targeted heavily with injuries to what feels like this entire receiving core. We'll see what the status is with them this week, but really like Bowden. And then at running back, it's going to be interesting because Ahmed is coming back from a shoulder injury, but we don't know if, he was the bell cow when he was healthy, but we don't know if now it's going to be more of a committee. It'll be interesting to see because we know Miami likes to run with one guy. Do you have a preference there in the RB room in Miami?
Yeah, with Gaskin on the COVID list, I do think if Ahmed is back, it's going to be him, and mainly him. They do like to focus on one guy, and so far they haven't committed to Washington or Breida as being that guy. They haven't done it once. So unless they bring back Jordan Howard for a game or something weird like that, Ahmed seems to be the guy. It's even
Jordan
on their team
Howard's
still.
he's an Eagle right now.
When did that happen? Okay. Dude,
Man,
miss
I don't know.
that.
They might bring back LaShawn McCoy. We never know.
Dude, who knows, man? Uh, I didn't even know that happened. That's crazy. That shows you how much I care about Jordan Howard and how good of a running back I think he is. Just a great player all around. Yeah, so Devontae Parker and Jakeem Grant, is that the correct Grant even? Yeah, Jakeem Grant
Yeah.
is they've both been hampered early in the week. I think they're both on track to play, but heavily hampered. And yeah, I agree. Lynn Bowden could be a sneaky flyer here. He has apparently finally learned the playbook. That was, I guess, a struggle for him. And I mean, he's athletic. He showed some talent, showed some flashes in the last game. And if the other ones are kind of hampered by injury, Lynn Bowden could be a sneaky flyer.
Okay, let's take it to our next game. Chicago, Minnesota. Tough matchup for Dalvin Cook. Tough matchup for Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. You're still starting all those guys, so nothing really new there. Kirk Cousins, do you have any interest in starting Kirk Cousins this week? I mean, trash matchup for him too. So, I mean, pretty much it seems like no. But if you're
Yeah, not
desperate as a
really.
streamer, okay. He's been good enough to where if you're absolutely desperate and there's nothing, sure. But this is not a matchup you're targeting. But I think you're pretty much. I think all the Minnesota guys are pretty much stardom because they're so good. But Irv Smith Jr., a guy to keep an eye on. If Kyle Rudolph misses again, he is going to be a great tight end streaming play.
Yeah, and as of right now, it looks like he hasn't been at practice. So Irv Smith, Kyle Rudolph, that is. So Irv Smith, I would say a really, really good streaming play this week if Kyle Rudolph does miss. Love it. Yeah. Other than that, I think in this game, you're starting all your main Vikings: Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. You're starting all your main Bears: Montgomery, Robinson.
Yep.
And other than that, there's nothing really to this one.
Cole Kmet worth a look at tight end. He's been kind of operating as Chicago's primary tight end now. So
Yep.
if you need a guy and Irv Smith's not out there, go get Cole Kmet.
Yeah, he's a tight end getting 5+ targets a game, I think, the last few games. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. If you really need it, go for it.
Okay, let's take it. Seattle, Washington. This one is interesting. Seattle favored by 5.5. over under of just 44.5. This one's going to be pretty low scoring, it would seem. On the Seattle side of the ball, you're starting Chris Carson, DK Metcalf. You're going to start Russ, but what's the deal with Tyler Lockett, man? Like, he's ever since that huge game, he's been pretty much non-existent on a week-to-week basis. Can you even trust starting him now that Seattle's been a little bit more run heavy?
I don't think you can. And I think a lot of it is run heavy, but a lot of it is just DK Metcalf. I mean, he's just been a presence. I mean, like a dominating presence. And Russ likes to look his way even when he's well covered. I mean, I would too, to be fair. I don't think you can fully trust Lockett, especially not in this matchup against Washington's defense. They are a stout defense, very stout defense. They had two touchdowns last week. Huge for me. And I don't like it. I mean, this is going to be an interesting test for the Seahawks in terms of playing against a very tough defense. I think Carson should still get his. Metcalf should still get his. But it's probably going to be a tough one for Lockett.
Agreed. On the football team side of the ball, we have Alex Smith as questionable. Don't know if he's going to play, which affects Terry McLaurin and Logan Thomas. McLaurin, I find it hard to believe you would sit him in a great matchup with Seattle. But Logan Thomas seems to be the more interesting one. Alex Smith has really opened him up, but Dwayne Haskins, he targeted him heavily, but they weren't quality targets. So is Logan Thomas a guy you're trusting this week?
No, not really. You just don't know what you're going to get with Haskins, and especially in these weeks where it's important to know what you're getting. I think you need someone a little bit more trustworthy. Is going to get you the points you need. And I think I would go someone like Cole Kmet over Logan Thomas.
I was just about to ask you Cole Kmet or Logan Thomas. That's literally the question I was going to ask you. Okay. All right. I think I go Logan Thomas there, but I think it's close. No, you know what? I definitely go Logan. You know I love Logan Thomas. I'm going
all Logan in Thomas. On Logan Thomas. Yeah, Terry McLaurin's been a little subpar lately. The past 2 weeks, he's been a little bit of a letdown. But he's kind of proven to be quarterback proof. Whoever's throwing him the ball, he usually gets those targets and still do well. So I still like McLaurin for sure.
Yeah, it's too good of a matchup to pass up. You're starting McLaurin.
How do you like McKissick real fast? How do you like McKissick this week if Gibson sits again?
I like McKissick because I think Washington's gonna have to pass the ball a good bit. So I can see him getting a ton of dump offs.
Awesome.
But if it's Alex Smith, I really like him. If it's Dwayne Haskins, I don't know. Because we've seen Smith dump the ball off all the time. Haskins, not as much.
Right.
Okay, Let's move. Jacksonville, Baltimore. Get ready for the second straight week of the Lamar Jackson experience. He is about to absolutely dominate the Jaguars. Jaguars giving up the third most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks, and if that wasn't enough, they're giving up the fifth most fantasy points to opposing running backs. So given Lamar Jackson is essentially a combination of both, he's coming off 2 straight really solid weeks. It seems like he's finally clicking. Like, it seems like this Ravens offense has just been, specifically Lamar, has just been struggling this year. But as of late, it seems like he's got the sauce back. It just feels like he's kind of been on a little bit of a 2019 Lamar bender, and I fully expect that to continue this week. I like him a lot against the Jags. Do you like him this week? Do you think he's a top 5 play?
Top 5. Yeah, I mean, he probably sinks right into the 5th spot for me. He should be awesome this week. Derrick Henry showed you that last week, and he's not a Derrick Henry type runner, but I mean, they can't stop the run, and he should just eat on the ground, kind of like he did last week, And I think that was a huge difference maker for the Ravens and for Lamar last week, is he finally got the wheels turning again. So yeah, as long as he does that, as long as he sticks to what he's good at, I think they should all do well. I mean, all the Ravens you want to start, him, Mark Andrews, probably J.K. Dobbins as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to start Marquise Brown, but I like those 3 guys.
Right.
On the Jacksonville side of the ball, walk me through what you're seeing. What do you think is worth starting this week?
What do I think is worth starting? James Robinson. Even Gardner's interesting, and the fact that he's back out there makes me happy. But I don't want to start him. Not in his essentially first game back starting against the Ravens. It doesn't bode well for him, I don't think, or the passing game. Don't think any of them have really been trustworthy. So it's James Robinson.
Yep, agreed. And Baltimore not as scary of a running back matchup as you feel like they are. I mean, they've pretty much been middle of the pack against opposing fantasy running backs. So I wouldn't really be scared off by James Robinson's matchup this week. I really like him.
Right.
All right, let's take it to New York at Los Angeles. Oh my gosh, the Jets are just going to get absolutely destroyed. The Rams are favored by 17 and a half. Wow. And the Jets have an implied point total of just 13 points. This one, I think this is going to be episode 2 of the Cam Akers show. I think he's going to have another big game. Jets haven't been great against the run. The Rams are going to have a big lead. They're just going to be looking to protect it. I love Cam Akers this week. Do you think Cam Akers has fully seized this job?
Yeah, I do for sure. He got something like 20-something carries last week. Hang on, I'm checking right now.
I want to say it was 29. I could be wrong. I think it was 29.
29 carries last week, plus 3 targets. I mean, that is 32 opportunities, friends, and that is what seizing the backfield looks like. I mean, and he did work with him. I mean, he looked good. So, yeah, I like Cam Akers this week for sure. I like all the Rams. I think even Jared Goff is a good play. All the Rams, meaning Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Cam Akers. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to play any Jets. That's for sure. I think Aaron Donald is gonna steal Darnold's soul. It's just gonna be bad.
What do you think about Sam Darnold as a play this week?
No.
I just want to see your reaction. That's the correct answer. No.
I don't know what else to say.
Correct. Okay, let's go Philly, Arizona. Love me some Jalen Hurts this week. I love it. I'm all in on Jalen Hurts. I'm so glad they're finally giving him a chance. I think it's too late. They should have given him a chance earlier. I think, honestly, I love him this week, given that Arizona's favored by 6.5. This game is projected to be not low scoring, not super high scoring, but I think Philly's going to be playing from behind. I think we might see some more Jalen Hurts wheels, which I'm really pumped about. A lot of passing situations where he can, scramble, make some stuff happen. I think this one could be sneakily high scoring. And it's his second week as the starter. I feel like he might be a little more comfortable, a little more confident. And I especially like him in DFS. He's so cheap. So thoughts on Jalen Hurts this week?
Yeah, no, I love Hurts. Currently starting him myself. So what we have seen from NFL coaches and these dual threat running backs that are kind of becoming they're still pretty new to the league, I would say, is that they usually run them a lot until they get a stinger or an injury. So I think Jalen's still in that phase for sure. So I expect him to get a lot of rushing yards in this game. He gets flushed out of the pocket more than anyone because that's just the Eagles' offense. So I expect him to get going a lot, and his throws are pretty accurate too. So I like Jalen Hurts for sure.
I think it's Hurts, Sanders, and Goddard are the 3 Eagles you want to be starting this week.
Yes.
On the Cardinal side of the ball, I think it's Hopkins, Murray, Drake. Any disagreement there?
Hopkins, Murray, Drake sounds about right. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take it to Kansas City, New Orleans. Yeah. No need to dive in. Well, Hopkins, Murray, Drake, just start them. Okay. Kansas City, New Orleans. Drew Brees, questionable this week. Seems like a long shot to play, but he's practicing. Who knows? We'll see if he feels comfortable. I hope he plays because that would be a great game. If not, Kamara takes a big hit. You're still starting him though. And Michael, I think the whole Saints offense takes a hit if if Taysom Hill starts. Do you agree with that?
Minus Taysom Hill, and
A good
Michael
point.
Thomas.
A
I
good
don't.
point. This
I
is
don't
why we do
think
the podcast.
no one would have ever thought of it, so I just figured I'd point it out. And Michael Thomas doesn't take a huge hit either. I mean, and neither does Kamara. Honestly, I mean, the Chiefs' defense still isn't great. I mean, they've given up a lot of points to bad teams. Their offense is what's really killer there, and I think I know for a fact our run defense still is not where it should be. So Taysom, I think, is going to be very good for keeping the sticks moving, as is Kamara. I mean, I don't dislike any of your major Saints here.
Okay.
If Hill is the guy,
Are there any Chiefs you're not starting? Or is it just pretty much Kelsey, Mahomes, Hill, start them all?
Clyde is not. Clyde doesn't feel good. I'll be honest; it doesn't feel good starting Clyde, and it hasn't the past couple of weeks. He's just. I mean, they just want to pass. Like it's a passing offense, and it's tough to trust someone like Clyde, especially when he's not necessarily getting the goal line work, that kind of thing. Because they pass in the end zone or in the red zone too. So if you have a better option than Clyde, go ahead and start it. But especially against the Saints, they have a pretty good defense here.
My one thing with Clyde is that I think was positive was he got a really heavy workload last week. 16 carries, the bigger thing being 6 targets, 5 catches. So I think if they use him in the pass game similarly, if this game does end up being somewhat high scoring, then that could be big for him. So I think I am starting CEH, but he's shown that he doesn't have the biggest ceiling just because he just has not been running the ball super well.
Yeah, I will say I think the Chiefs had a pretty different game plan last week against the Dolphins because their defense is just kind of incredible. And it showed that our gameplay was a little bit different because Pat Mahomes threw three picks, which is pretty unorthodox. So I don't necessarily expect the same game plan this week. I don't know how much Clyde's going to be involved, and I expect more of a pass heavy game here. So I don't know that I love Clyde. I love Kelsey. Obviously, I love Hill and Mahomes this week. Hey, quick question. Just because this has to do with my team as well. Would you start Hurts or Hill? Taysom.
I think that one might be decided by you if Breeze plays, but that's tough, man.
Yeah, I will say I don't necessarily expect Breeze to play. Apparently, he was feeling some pain while he was throwing. So,
let's see which game has a higher over under. Saints can't. I'm tempted to say Hill. They're gonna have to score a lot of points to keep up with Kansas City. It's gonna be full speed ahead. I mean, same with the Eagles in Arizona, but Arizona's shown that they can have their off weeks, whereas Kansas City's on all the time. I will go Taysom Hill. I'll go Taysom Hill.
Fair enough.
That's tough. It's very close. Very close.
Yeah, I've currently got Hurts there. I think they're back to back. They both have the same upside in terms of rushing and rushing touchdowns. So it's really banking on who's going to get that touchdown.
All right, let's go Cleveland, New York. Are you starting any Giants?
Am I starting any Giants? I am not.
Starting one. Not Wayne Gallman?
I mean, Wayne Gallman's feasible start. It's just, it's just an ugly.
You're starting Wayne Gallman as an
I'm
RB2.
starting Wayne Gallman. I am starting Wayne Gallman. Yes, he's been good.
All right, that's it for Giants. Browns.
It's just an ugly situation, though.
Yeah, Browns, Hunt, Chubb. Yes. Are you starting Jarvis?
Yeah. I mean, no, I like Jarvis. He is Baker's go-to guy. It was pretty clear last game. And I think he's a flex. I mean, he's not like a locked and loaded anything. But he's a reasonable flex. Would you start him or who was the guy we were talking about earlier? I said so and so versus or
Cole Kmet.
No. I said so and so or Cole Beasley. Who was it? Oh, Tim Patrick. Would you start Tim Patrick or Jarvis Landry?
Tim Patrick.
Okay. I mean, I think they're
What
pretty
about
close though. I'd start
about
Tim
you?
Patrick as well, but I think they're close.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all my thoughts on Cleveland. Let's wrap this up with Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. All right, tell me this, because I'm personally torn. I mean, I'm starting Deontay Johnson either way, but this could go one of two ways. We saw Deontay Johnson get benched and get brought back in the second half. Because Pittsburgh should handily win this game against Cincinnati, does Mike Tomlin A, pepper Deontay heavily to get his confidence back in a game they know they can win? Or B, because they know they can win, bench him and give him limited snaps just to teach him his lesson because they can afford to do it? He
I
got
don't.
benched for drops. He got benched for
Right,
drops
right,
last
right.
week.
He had the dropsies. I don't think they bench him again. The Steelers are not the team to continually punish anyone. So I don't. I think he just goes back into his regular role, and as long as he doesn't keep dropping, he doesn't get benched.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I trust the receivers in this one. Actually, Juju, Claypool should bounce back in a big way, and Deontay Johnson should get back to his normal role, especially with their run game just being utter garbage right now.
Yeah, I'm not starting any Steelers running backs. That's for sure. James
Yeah,
Conner, I don't even know what happened to him, man.
I don't either. I mean, he's just been he's clearly shown that he's not a guy that can maintain a full workload for the entire season, which is a shame because that's what the Steelers were really looking at in terms of his play this season. Could he do that? The answer is clearly no. So I think they'll be moving on next year. But yep. But, I mean, I like the receivers.
Starting zero Bengals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to even say Higgins in the flex. Just against the Steelers, I think it's a tough matchup, and they look bad.
Yeah, agreed. No Bengals this week. Okay. All right, well, that wraps up our Week 15 preview. Tucker, any closing thoughts? I mean, this is a huge week for fantasy players everywhere.
Just good luck to everybody. Hope you make it to your finals if you're in the semis. Steven, I look forward to seeing you there.
I look forward to seeing you not there, but in the championship, my friend, because we're both winning this week. I can't wait.
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, Tuck, I'll see you. Lineup Legends, we're out. Everyone, good luck in Week 15.